It's All Gospel Friday. Good morning. Yeah, that's how we started this morning. Lady Cordy Curran, good morning to you. Lady Elise, good morning. How are you doing?
Well, I found another adjective, and I think it's fun-filled Friday.
Fun. Lady Elise, you're thinking about it. You don't think it's fun, Phil? I believe it's true.
No, I'm just saying. Coraline never disappoints. She never disappoints, and that's what I have to say. She always is on the fly with these adjectives. I am glad I sent her to school. When I sent her to school, book. What was it? Take our book.
You take your book. All right, that's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
Thank you so very much. I appreciate the learning. And I mean, we've been having a lot of fun for not just today or Friday, but in the celebration of emancipation.
More man.
It
has been something, hasn't it?
Of course. And I'm all about the fun. So I'll give you a little insight. So at my office, the decoration or the social committee was a little slow in getting the decorations up. So I went and got my decorations, got a ladder, and started the process.
You went on the ladder?
Yes, somebody said, come down. Come. Then I was instructed to come down and allow some of the younger persons to do it because my bones can't set so easily.
Out of order and you know, Cordy Curran, there's a word in Jamaica that says rank.
In this instance, though, I saw the merits of their advice and clearly or immediately
disembarked.
Allowed somebody with a little bit more youth, a lot more youth, to do it. So we went about decorating the office, and then Mom and I use our creative, the little that we have, and did something with the ribbons so that it has a little bit of oomph about it. On Friday, before Independence, we had a Jamaican style breakfast at the office.
Wow.
So more so from primarily for my department. So of course, Mom and I were all over the place getting breadfruit.
Yes, because I was going to say, Cordy Curran, for the benefit of those who do not know what a Jamaican style breakfast looks like, could you please enlighten us while we drool and salivate and all of that?
Believe me, the event itself was well received by the team, but I can tell you the excitement of preparing. Mom and I going to the Coronation Market, getting the items and outsourcing it, and the entire process, the journey was an experience. On the day, we had mackerel rundown.
What?
Ackee and saltfish.
What?
Roast breadfruit. Potato pudding. I commissioned somebody and we got dukunu. And of course for the young
people. Hold on. Dukunu have a next name?
Yes. But I'm not good at pronouncing it.
All right, go on, Cordy Curran. Go on. Just continue. Go on. Just finish it. Just tell us more about it. Tell us more about it.
We had authentic chocolate tea. All the spices.
The one with the crust on the top, with the oil on the top, and when you, if you're not careful, the whole of your tongue scotch off.
Yes, oil on top, the full 100. With again, it was well spiced with all the cinnamon and
a little bit of pimento.
I didn't taste pimento in it, so I don't think she didn't mention it. We also
but you have a cinnamon leaf with some nutmeg and all that going on in there.
Yes, we had drops, we had tambourine ball, we had did I say potato pudding?
Yes, you
So
mentioned
it
it
was
twice. Yes.
yeah, it was, believe me. And we did enough so we could, especially for the blue draws, we did enough of
For the
it
what?
so
The
that the
dukuno?
entire yeah, the other name for the dukuno.
Is the is
So
what? Is what? Is the blue?
oh my goodness, like Michael. The blue draws.
The blue drawers.
Practicing,
Yes.
practicing it in my head to say it right.
Practicing it in your head. All right, no
But I
problem.
hear there's a third name for it, like drawstring or something. Is that
Whatever the third name is, it's not the popular name. Is other persons maybe in a smaller community that may have had that, which is not
oh,
anything
okay.
bad or anything, but we know the two names. You know.
Restricted?
Yes.
So it was good. And then we had ginger beer and limey to top it
Ah,
off.
lemony.
Authentic. So it was really, that was our version of it. So it was absolutely well received.
So a celebration with a difference.
Yes. And everybody came in their colors.
Mm.
Sorry, the Tuesday, because again, it had to be representing. So it was really, really, really an interesting time. Not just, as I said, the event, the day itself, but going through the motions. And I can't thank mom enough because it's almost, well, not almost, she took it on and she's the one, oh, we need to go and get the banana leaves. And where are we going to get the banana leaves? And Cordy, you need to hurry up and get
To make the
more banana leaves.
to make the dukuno.
Yeah, because we don't know anything about it, so we had to commission somebody to do it.
Ah.
We had to get the ingredients to the person, including the banana leaves. So
So
she
are you
took it
are you
on.
saying that our culture is dying with this generation that is here?
Well, you know, Corley Karen is making sure that as much as the conversation can be had, that she is having it. So a lot of persons in the office didn't know what Dukuno was. It was the first time they were having it. And so the point is, our generation needs to do a better job of communicating our culture. So if they don't know, my position or submission is that we would have failed them.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
So
Hallelujah. Amen. Amen. At least you can now say the benediction. Crowley Karen has preached.
I am looking and I'm just like,
She said it.
am I at the right
She
place
said
at
it.
the right time?
yep.
She's singing.
She said it.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning and welcome to our viewers on YouTube, on Instagram, or if you're on our web radio, www.flashpointmedia.ky. It's fun filled family gospel Friday. And I don't know what other adjectives Lady Corley Karen has up her sleeves because she is constantly reinventing reinventing what this is all about, and we welcome because all these adjectives are all positive, filled with vibe. Now she has caused me to be hungry this morning. But a few things from the nice lovely breakfast that was had and the food, it has been a celebration all week. I see people decked out in their Jamaican colors, regardless of where they reside. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
And of course, as we get started this morning, it is important for us to start with our devotional, Mikey G.
I think it's in order. After Crowley Karen would have made such a shocking discovery that most persons didn't understand or still don't. and it was clearly identifiable in the sophistication of the colonization of the minds of the people who were supposed to bring forth the information to teach the next generation of who they are. Marcus Garvey says, a people who do not know their past shall be their future. So let's get into it. Thank you, Corey Curran, for that reminder this morning and for being so clear about it. And you're honest in this one to say, you know, I recognize it very clearly, Mikey G, Lady Elise. And, you know, the question asked though, while I take away my cynicism and I'm not being cynical anymore, and I really wasn't cynical, or I use a little cynicism in there. Those words I don't understand what they mean in your thoughts. So if I'm using them and I'm using them incorrectly, please forgive Mikey J. How do you really feel right now after thinking about it just for a moment, and how do you feel about just saying it and then listening to it and the impact on that on our community, on our society? What do you feel? What do you feel about it? Really, just deep-heartedly.
Yeah.
Honestly feel. What would you feel?
You know, so the impact is clear. So again, I grew up in a space, Michael, where certainly my mom was very, very deliberate. So she would drag us. We didn't understand the meaning of it, but all of the cultural shows to be a part, to see us on display. That's really what it was. So when you talk about the music, the dance, all of it. When we were growing up, my sister and I was sharing with somebody the other day that we were on the 250,000 bus and the float parade was happening and the traffic was horrible. You had to be standing up in the bus, especially because we were children, because in those days the children had to stand while the adults sit. The bus was full and we were on our way to the National Stadium behind the float, and there was that convergence there. And so that was for me my growing up. We went to pantomimes, we went to all of those shows because she was very clear that we needed to have an appreciation of who we are and to have that self-pride.
And go ahead.
A number of those things have not been as rich as before, but as I said to you, we were in a state of panic, and I'm not joking when I said we were in a state of panic because we couldn't get tickets to go to Grand Gala, and of course it had to be Grandstand because Mom sweats without apologies, without any invitation, so the bleachers thing was not going to work. And thank God we finally got there. But we arrived at 2:30. I had to be popping my neck on the road because she's like, oh, we need to reach it. It's 5 o'clock, it's starting. We got there for 2:30. And I understood the wisdom in her instruction because
getting there early means things going pack and you can't pass the gate after a certain time.
Exactly. And getting in was also another stress because the line was long. They couldn't find the man who had the gate key, and so we had to stand up outside and wait. So they opened the gate finally at about 3 o'clock. My poor son, he's like melting because he's like, this is so hot. He says that's not his face, right? But it was great when we got in and you see the energy in the space and the feeling of pride that people had. You see everybody donning their colors and they're singing the national anthem, and that sort of, it was beautiful to see, and I got chills, especially for me when you see everybody stood to attention,
wow,
recognizing the anthem, singing it. It was, you could hear the sound in the stadium, and it really,
was
for me, was an amazing experience. And I really hope, as I said, that people understand it. So here's the other interesting thing. I was asking, I don't know who I didn't ask for tickets, right? And there were senior people who were like, what's Grand Gala? I'm like, are you Jamaican? I'm like, there are people who do not know what Grand Gala is. And that for me is where it was a shocker, because again, it's the flip side of here you are filled with pride about something, and the culmination of your independence. Because one of the things that they did that I found very in my mind effective is to remind us that on this very ground where we're standing was when the Union Jack was lowered and the Jamaica flag was hoisted. And so just from, well, certainly for me being in that space, it has greater significance. And so it wasn't enough to see it on the television, but to be on the same plot of land, the same area where it happened 63 years ago, it had so much more significance being there.
Curly Karen, you have a mouthful.
I hear you, Curly Karen, and I hear the excitement and the energy. I have never been to a Grand Gala. I've watched it on the television, but for some reason, I've always been perhaps in the western end of the island at the time of Grand Gala, and in this case, not on the island, but certainly I felt the energy, and so many of my friends and family members were locked in, tuned in, and even us at Flashpoint, we were tuned in and locked in. And I recognize too that so many persons, those persons, can I tell you, let me be honest, I know this is not the uncut Flashpoint edition. Some persons who live a foreign will never expect to be in Jamaican colors, right? They were in their colors representing, and that sense of pride, I think it is important to recognize your history. And you spoke about history in a way that it almost it resonates with me, so that I felt as if I was there, Curly Karen. I didn't feel as if I tasted the food that you mentioned. I don't feel like it, but I certainly feel the excitement and the pride, and that's a good place to be.
One thing about the conversation, Curly Karen, as we had for our devotional this morning, is that you said there was a time when children would stand and adults would sit. But then now comes a time when the children will sit and the adults must stand. Disrespect has been formalized and normalized, and so that's what we have done. You have said it.
Yeah, Michael, I think,
Yes.
we have to take some of that responsibility, because here's how it looks, right? We as the parents, we're now saying, no, all right, we're protecting our children, and we're getting up and then we're allowing them to sit because we understand
yes,
the stress of
and
having to stand
and the children, by learning that nonsense that we perpetrate, they have now make sure that you will never get a chance to sit again, because you must get up that when they come. All right,
Yeah.
let's go to the devotional as we begin this morning's experience.
Good morning. This is day 6. This is the day the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Psalm 118, verse 24. Christmas Every Day, written by David C. McCasland. As we began our worship service on a warm day in August, our pastor prayed that we would be alive with anticipation like children at Christmas. In the middle of summer, it was an unexpected image that fired my imagination and caused me to think. Long after the closing hymn, I was still pondering his words and their startling implication. What day of the year was I most likely to wake up early when I was a child? Christmas morning. Why? To open my presents, of course. When I went to bed on Christmas Eve, I would think tomorrow is going to be a great day. Way down deep, I believed that my parents would give me something special, and I couldn't wait to find out what it was. That was the source of my anticipation and energy at daybreak every Christmas morning. How did you wake up this morning? How would your attitude change if you viewed each day as a gift from your loving Heavenly Father? Perhaps that's what the psalmist had in mind when he wrote, "This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it." If we really believed that each day was a special gift from God, we would be like children at Christmas every morning of the year. When dawn announces each new day, before you rise up out of bed, rejoice, be glad, and give God praise, and thank Him for what lies ahead. Our quote this morning reads, "Each day is a gift from the one who knows exactly what we need." End quote.
Scott, and you're listening to Flashpoint Radio. Rise and shine. Your morning boost of inspiration, news, and fun. With Mikey G, Lady Elise, and Coralie Karen, the unmistakable combination, synergized to navigate.
All right, all right. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Again, once again, for those who are just joining us for the first time, I want to say welcome to the Breakfast Hour. Of course, you're tuning into Flashpoint Media, Flashpoint Radio by extension. And of course, we are visiting you on different platforms, or YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and of course on our web radio at www.flashpointmedia.ky. Lady Coralie Curran, you made a very profound discovery this morning, and I'm telling you, it has really, just by listening to it alone, bring me back to a time when it was important to teach our children. And now we have allowed another culture or different kind of culturing to overrun the importance of teaching our children where they're from and how they need to go forward.
I agree. What came to me also in terms of protecting our children, the heat that goes along with standing in the line is a part of understanding the struggle. It is not always smooth sailing to get to where we want to get to. So having to stand up in the sun, to wait on the gate to open, to wait to get inside the stadium, is a part of building that character, because you see the importance of going or doing whatever it takes to get to where you want to go. And I can tell you, again, about our framing, how it is, my thought was, oh my gosh, my son is in the sun. I mean, I had on my broad hat, of course, so I was a little bit protected. And in my mind, I was like, how could I not have protected my son? And I'm thinking, come and stand up beside me. But the truth is, being a part of what it takes to get to achieve what you want is important. So it wasn't just enough to sit in the stadium and watch the show. You also had to be a part of the struggles, in quotes, that it requires to get in. And believe me, it was an experience. He sweated to the whole time. He was complaining, boy, it's hot. Mom, I'm sweating. There was a snow cone, right? Not the authentic, real looking one, right? But they tried. And he's like, Mom, I need ice. I can't. So we ended up having to get, not the snow cone, because he didn't want the syrup, but the ice to try and cool himself down. But after, we got there, you saw him enjoying himself, appreciating music from the legends, the Leroy Sibbles, certainly Capleton, and all. It was different being in the space. And that is what we're missing, because when you look at it, a lot of the Jamaican shows are no longer happening for one reason or another. Is it that we don't have the cast? People are no longer, we've gotten so busy because maybe it doesn't pay as much as getting a regular job, so people are no longer in the arts, But I believe we have to take some of the responsibility to make sure it happens so that they can appreciate the strength of who they are. So wherever they end up, it doesn't mean that you have to be physically here, but wherever you find yourself, that sense of pride and the sense of identity has to be so strong that you can represent yourself wherever you go. So Lady Elise, when you mentioned persons who are not on the island, but they do the colors because they want to identify. And some people may not even be Jamaicans, but because hopefully we would have represented ourselves sufficiently that they want to, in solidarity with us, as we celebrate our uniqueness or independence, So the energy was so infectious, and I was definitely impressed with it.
Well, here is something that I would say, as you mentioned, Lady Curly Curran, of the fact that you would be deliberate in, even though your children may not want to go, or in retrospect maybe didn't have an interest, you made the effort to take them, that they could have an experience that would rekindle, or not rekindle, but kindle a fire in them that they did not know, right? That is the hallmark of every parent and the responsibility of every parent with a child. To teach them something that they don't want to know, but they must know. Yes. And so we have settled in so many ways to listen to our children talk and tell us what they want, while we know what they need and don't give it to them. And so it is important that we looked at it from that perspective. I just spoke about the independence, and I look at the hyphenated action of the in and then hyphen and then dependence on it. I would want to ask you, what does independence look like, and if in fact we are actually independent? Independence means what, Curly Curran? From a legal standpoint.
Well, I will take it from the position that it affords me a voice, that I can represent what I know. So it is not, well, let me not go to what it's not, but it's about you being able to stand in a space and own it. It's being able to, for example, get paid if you do a job. It's you having the right to, if you feel something is not going according to how you understand it, to challenge it, that you can go through to the courts and have, as far as the system presents itself. But I mean, we can have a conversation about how justice is. But if you feel disenfranchised, or you feel that your right has been trampled on, that you have an avenue to challenge it. Because, and certainly for me, even being able to determine who runs the country is important. I may not have the same passion about the one party that you have, but by dipping my finger in that ink, it means so much more than the action. It is, for me, significant that the people, the nannies, the Paul Bogles, that when they fought, they were paying it forward so that I can have an opportunity to determine who is in my government. And for me, I don't take those things lightly because somebody has to do it. What I also need to challenge myself is what am I doing now to continue that sense of independence that need to happen. A lot of times this slavery has changed its color, it has changed its the chains, and it requires that sense, and again it goes back to the sense of pride for you to be able to determine, are we shackled mentally? And Bob Marley speak to it. How do we treat each other? Is there a sense of fairness? Is there a sense of you bringing up your brother and making sure that they have an awareness of what it means to be financially independent? Because that too is one of the elements of independence. Are we socially independent? Are we able
All
to
right.
mix and mingle with everybody?
And
It's a long, for me, it's a big issue that oftentimes we take for granted because we don't have physical chains on. So we sometimes feel as if we are in fact free.
All right, Lady Elise, I think you have something to tell us. I don't know what you said you're going to say. And the same question, independence for you. Lady Curly Karen mentioned the fighting of Paul Bogles and the Daddy Sham Sharp, and well, she didn't mention the nanny of the Maroons and the Kodjos, But she's on the same path. But since 1834, emancipation came, but yet still, at this point, 1834 happened, emancipation happened, and this is after 1834. All right? Your take on independence, Jamaica independence. In 1962, Jamaica got independence from British rule. What do you think about that today, seeing a governor general in Jamaica?
Well, I have
Same question, Corley Karen, when it comes back.
Oh no, I think Corley Curran should.
No, please, Lady Elise, keep answering. I just wanted to make a disclaimer on that same question, but please.
When I think about independence, I know I need to answer your question. I have a lot of mixed feelings because of my interactions with persons from day to day. And the part of the mixed feelings is related to how persons are treated even in your own country and also at work. And I will say, sometimes jokingly, you mean that Nani and the Maroon and all these people lose their life for nothing? Because and so I say that I think about what must have happened leading up to emancipation and independence, and persons who would have given their very life for what we take for granted now, and how we even treat each other. It kind of goes really deep for me because so often, and you've heard me on the platform speak about the differences that we hold so near to each other, who dark skin, who eye color, who low color, who have nappy
Who are pretty hair. And who not have pretty hair.
Things who are educated and who are not, and how we treat our very own persons, and how we find walls and differences and who better than who. When you talk about independence, the struggle is still very real. Persons singing songs, and I don't know if you have heard the song. 9 to 5 just a short. The weekend is a short thrill. The slave mill is grinding still, grinding slow but grinding still. One done by one of the Marleys. And when I listen to that song, I realize that we are still mentally even enslaved in how we think and how we teach our children. Then you ask me a question that there's so much.
Yes, it ignites so much. Corley Karen.
That's up in my mind.
Same question, Corley Karen. Lady Elise, I tell you made sense with that. It's so much. But Kweli Karen, in our deliberation a while ago, when she started talking about the fact that her son, and it's not an indictment on your personal child, this is not something on him. And we talked about the fighting of the nanny and those persons who would be out there slaughtering themselves. And I'm just using this as a representation of this generation who would not possibly even care to want to know that they did this thing for them, to the point that they couldn't even want to get out of their air-conditioned homes or out of their beds to come out and give homage or honor to these people who gave their very lives.
Yeah.
And this is where it goes for me in a lot of ways. Kweli Karen, the same question. Independence happened in 1962, emancipation 1834, and after emancipation, Nanny, Kojo, and Paul Bogle, Nadi Sharp still had to be fighting for the one thing that was given, that was supposed to be given to black people, but colonialism after slavery took place, and that is what they fought against. Not slavery so much, but colonial masters' rules over the people. Even after slavery has been abolished, they still wanted to take the chain off, but maintain the control and the rule.
And you're right.
I know. Seeing an independence in 1962 and a governor general still being installed in Jamaica even afterwards. What does that look like and mean for you?
Yeah. It's important. And I guess the conversation has been brewing for a while. And we're now at the point that we want to become a republic. So Barbados would have done it in 2021. I suppose, having set the stage or started it, Jamaica is now having those conversations about being fully free and having the autonomy to rule themselves. I question it though, Michael, because, well, first of all, Britain has really distanced itself. So the Governor General, as far as I'm concerned, is just a seat. Because how can you say that there's still some relationship and I have to get a visa to go to the motherland or to go to your country? That for me is crazy. But the conversation about becoming a republic is, I think, one that speaks to our wanting to be so self-sufficient. So really having the final word stops with us. I will, if I may be very frank, I'm concerned because the politics that we have displayed is one more of selfishness. So as you talk about slavery, what you end up seeing is that people who will go into government, they will create opportunities not for the nation, but for them for the 4 years that they're guaranteed to be in there. And so if, are they the Jim Crows where they're still trying to please the master to the detriment of the mass? There's so much poverty, there's so much things that still needs to be done from a policy standpoint that I'm concerned as to how it is now. And if there's more leverage to people whose mind are still shackled by the fact that they want to be like the colonizers. And so what you find is that the colonizing has now become granular. It's not being managed by a puppet from a distance, but we ourselves are enslaving our own people. And that for me is the fear that I have even with the conversation. I see it for what it ought to be and really what it signifies, but are we ready really for what it really is? And for me, I'm not so convinced because of how I've seen the politics so far. So it may very well be just another form.
Well, all the countries so far that has claimed independence have the worst economies, more crime than any other place on the planet, have so many different social intervention of negativeness. As a youngster, I want to. I just leave that on it. Barbados. What's the economy like in Barbados? Is the question I'd like to ask. I don't want to talk about it this morning, but I want to say that Haiti economy. I know it's turbulent, shot, and as Haiti fights its battles and is being ridiculed for it's not being able to survive. We forget the colonial masters who basically robbed them. There's another word I want to use, the word R, that would have supported what they did to them, letting them pay billions of dollars for their own freedom to be released from their chains, which, in my mind, should have gone a different way. But that was what happened to them. And today we have a Governor General in Jamaica. As a youngster, I used to love to make, I was taught how to make a puppet. And so I used to, make my little cardboard box puppets, and I showed them to my mother. And I would pull a string and the arm move up, and I pull another string and the next arm move. And then one string and one foot come up, and one string and one foot, and then one string and everybody going like this. Foot and hand same time. Is Governor General the puppet master of Jamaica? I'm not saying anything, I'm just saying.
Well, that's a good question to ask, Mikey G, and I think it's a pity for us to take a break.
I want to do this before we go to the list. Let me do this as I say that. I want us to give a salute to Jamaica. As we do a salute, please everybody, give a salute to Jamaica for me, Lady Curly Karen. I want to give a salute to Jamaica and all our Jamaican friends, Jamaicans across the world, in Alaska, in Mexico, in America, in Jamaica, in Canada, in Grand Cayman, in Cuba, in Russia, in Afghanistan, every place that a Jamaican is. We salute you, Jamaicans, and I salute you, my country, Jamaica. Despite the fact that we may have so many anarchy and situations, bad mind people and everything else, we know that sometimes, Lady Elisa, take down your hand. Put it back up, man, Chuck. We know that it's not your dirty heart alone that causes you to be dirty-hearted, but you are influenced in so many ways that you don't even know why you're doing it. Of course, with Flashpoint, we want to bring another message to say, clean up your act, be a better Jamaican, be respectful to each other, not just as a Jamaican to a Jamaican, but to respect all people. Whether your color skin is white, black, blue, pink, or as you know, pink, let's leave out the white part, the pink, green, blue, yellow. Alright. Anyways, this is what we're going to say. Big up Jamaica and all Jamaicans across the world. And at this point, Lady Cordy Karen, don't take down your hand yet, but wait for this one.
Eternal Father, bless our land, guard us with thy mighty hand, keep us free from evil power, be our light through countless storms, to our leader, great defender, grant wisdom from above, justice, truth be ours forever, Jamaica, land we love. Jamaica, 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 land we love. Teach us to be respectful, stir response to duty's call, strengthen us the weak to carry, give us vision, blessed people. perish. Knowledge send us, Heavenly Father, grant true wisdom from above. Justice, truth be ours forever. Jamaica, land we love. Jamaica, 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 land we love.
Lady Corey Karen, salute Jamaica this morning. I salute you, Jamaica. I salute all Jamaicans. I respect my country. I respect my flag. And I want to say to every Jamaican across the world, if anything else, stop disrespecting each other and respect each other. And stop being a people who do not see where we are sometimes or where we need to progress in, and stop regress in certain things. All right, thank you, Corey Karen. You know, how do you feel this morning just listening to your anthems being presented?
You know, the anthem is a prayer, and I think oftentimes we miss it. So well, for me, I listen to the words of the song, and the music is good, but I often sort of marinate on the words of it. It speaks about, it's a prayer, but it's also about speaking to appreciating what others have done and making sure that we become the trailblazers as well in our own right, so that the legacy of empowerment, of strength, continues throughout the generation. We have a responsibility, Michael G, and that's the truth of it, to teach our children what we would have learned. And we need to, when I think about history and the lessons that are being taught in schools, does it have the richness of what it really means to be Jamaicans? Is it an optional subject, if you will? You know, I see in Cape, Caribbean Studies is a part of it. So there's hope yet. I still believe we have hope. We just need to make sure that at home as well, it is repeated, it is endorsed, because our children need to have that sense of value and worth, and also that they matter because somebody else lost their life just so that they can have the opportunities that they are afforded today.
Karen, you said it well, and bringing home that point was very important, because I think that's where we have lost it. And today is Family Friday, and we dub it Family Friday because we wanted one of our programs to just be about the family. They says that families makes up communities. Communities makes up societies. Makes up nations, and nations make up society. We look at these things and we says society makes up nations. I switch it around. When we look at it, we look at things and they mean nothing, or we put little value to a lot of things that are supposed to be valuable and put no value on them. But these are what you call the backbone of your existence, or what represents you as an individual or as a nation or as a people. And when you pay no value to it, or no attention to it, or place no value on it, what happens to you is you now are swept away with the currents of time into the abyss of nothingness, and something else replace you, and you are not even remembered because you did not make the requisite stance to keep what you actually inherited through blood, sweat, and people's life. You squander it for Nintendo games and iPads. But like I said, it's not on the children. As we recognized this morning, Lady Corey.
They didn't buy the Nintendo games and iPads.
They did not buy the Nintendo games and the iPads. It's not on the children. It is on the parents of these children. So when you see your children don't have a clue about who they are, look in the mirror first before accusing them of not knowing anything. When you see your children behaving out of order and disrespectful, see how you has grown them to be disrespectful and to be this out of order child. Don't blame the kids. Blame yourself. That's what I would say.
Taking responsibility.
Take responsibility for your next generation. Which generation can come up and know blue jaws? How? Would you raise a generation that do not know blue jaws?
And I'm sure they...
But know everything else. I don't even want to say that. I don't even want to say what comes to my mind when I said that a while ago. I don't even want to say.
Yeah. But Michael, the clock on the wall is giving us a signal.
Yes.
I hope our friends and our listeners or viewers felt the fun of Friday, that they would have enjoyed staying with us. We certainly enjoy being a part of your space, and that the fact that you allow us to be a part of your morning. Thank you so very much for joining us. Please remember to share with others, to encourage others to be a part of the experience as well. And we're 24 hours, right?
24 hours. First, keep lock on Flashpoint Web Radio. www.flashpointmedia.ky. 24 hours all day. In fact, this even comes up the open portal right here on Flashpoint at 6:30 in the PM. Please don't miss it. And of course, the Sabbath experience continues onward into the Sabbath hours. Saturday, Sabbath, all day the Sabbath experience will continue until sunset. And of course, you'll have a wonderful time. But today, all Gospel Friday, a lot of gospel tunes, some what you call inspirational thoughts and advice coming from various persons on spiritual matters. You will have so much experience today, throughout the day, and into the afternoon. Please stick and stay with Flashpoint. Of course, the news comes up next. You have yourself a great time. Curly Karen, when we come back. We are not coming back. We are indeed keeping it real right here on Flashpoint.
It is Thursday, August 8th, and these are the Breakfast Hour News from Flashpoint Radio. I'm Coralie Karen. Energy regulator scraps fossil fuel plan in settlement with CUC. In a major shift for Cayman's energy future, the Utility Regulation and Competition Office has walked back its controversial plan to commission 90 megawatts of new diesel generation. The decision follows an out-of-court settlement with Caribbean Utilities Company. The move clears the way for more renewable energy, particularly solar farms backed by battery storage, to meet the island's growing power needs. CUC President Richard Hugh says the island is in dire need of more power supply, but insists that clean, affordable solar is the way forward. ERCO now recognizes solar plus storage as firm power meaning it meets the reliability standard needed for continuous electricity supply. The regulator says it remains committed to a clean energy transition while ensuring grid stability and fair competition. CUC will submit a new energy proposal by September. Republic Bank's stake in Cayman National rises to 87%. Republic Financial Holdings has officially raised its stake in Cayman National Corporation to over 87%, following a successful US $82 million offer to purchase remaining shares. The move allows Republic to begin the process of delisting CNC from the Cayman Islands Stock Exchange, a required step once publicly traded shares fall below 25%. Republic says it will maintain Caymanian leadership on the board and continue to operate Cayman National services both locally and internationally. Government opens Cayman's first egg production facility. The Cayman Islands has cracked open a new chapter in food security with the launch of its first government-run egg facility. The initiative, led by the Ministry of Agriculture and the Department of Agriculture, aims to reduce dependence on imports and strengthen local food production. The facility will serve as a demonstration site and training center for local farmers supporting Cayman's national egg strategy. Eggs produced will be donated to community groups such as Meals on Wheels and Caribbean Haven. Agriculture Minister Jay Ebanks called it, quote, an investment in our future, end quote, aiming to eventually meet 40% of the country's egg demand with local supply. Making Waves Awards honor Caymanian excellence globally. 11 Caymanians were celebrated at the 4th annual Making Waves Awards hosted by Cayman Connection at the Hartwell Theatre. The honorees span fields from health, law, and education to arts, sustainability, and sports. Among them, Dr. Joel Rose in health and wellness, Rita Estevanovich in arts and heritage, and STEM honoree Gabriela Hernandez. The awards recognize Caymanians making a global impact while remaining deeply connected to their roots. 3 charged in violent Valentine's Day robberies. 2 men and a 17-year-old boy have been charged in connection with a string of machete-wielding robberies on Valentine's Day in Georgetown. The incidents include attacks at a barber shop, a convenience store, and a private residence. The men are in custody while the teenager is out on bail. They're due back in court on August 27. Victims sustained minor injuries and police credit swift investigations for the arrests. And now to regional news. Jamaica highlights Japan partnership at Expo 2025. Jamaican's Foreign Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith reaffirmed strong bilateral ties with Japan during the country's National Day at Expo 2025. She cited deep collaboration in disaster preparedness, security, fisheries, and trade, including Japan's role as the #1 buyer of Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee. Jamaican Olympian Christine Day will also serve as a sports ambassador under the JET program in Japan's Tottori Prefecture. DNA forensics crack teacher's murder case in Jamaica. Police in Jamaica say improved forensic capabilities helped solve the January murder of teacher Angela Hamilton. DNA analysis linked community resident Delroy Palmer to this crime, leading to his arrest and upcoming court appearance. The case highlights the role of Jamaica's new Forensic Services branch in boosting conviction rates through advanced crime scene processing. Caribbean Development Bank to host Regional Risk Conference. The Caribbean Development Bank, along with CRIF, SPC, and CAF, will host the second Wider Caribbean Regional Risk Conference on September 3 to 4. The event will be held in person and online, focusing on regional risks such as climate change, misinformation, economic volatility, and emerging technologies. CDB President Daniel Best says the conference will serve as a launchpad for decisive action to build resilience in small island and coastal sites. And on to international news. U.S. judge halts construction of alligator Alcatraz in Everglades. A U.S. federal judge has ordered a temporary halt to further construction of a migrant detention facility in Florida's Everglades, dubbed Alligator Alcatraz. Conservation groups filed suits claiming the project threatens the environment and was pushed through without proper environmental review. The facility remains operational for now, but the ruling is seen as a win for environmentalists and the Mesokete tribe, who call the island sacred. And that's your breakfast or news for today. Continue to stay tuned for more updates throughout the day, or for more updates.
When you need ultrasound that's safe and effective, you must visit Asai Ultrasound Imaging. They're conveniently located at number 4 Chestnut Center, Smith Road, Georgetown, Cayman Islands. With experienced technologists with over 20 years experience, their friendly staff will make you comfortable while you get your procedure done. Asai Ultrasound Imaging is open Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Call Asai Ultrasound Imaging 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426. That's 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426.
Need help to produce your podcast? Flashpoint Media makes it very easy. We can relieve you of the headache by recording your podcast for you. So, take the first step to getting your content to your desired audience. Contact us here at Flashpoint and your podcast will be live in no time. Our website is www.flashpointmedia.ky or call us at 345-321-6969. That's 345-321-6969.
When the world quiets down and the noise of the day fades away, that's when the real conversations begin. The ones we hide, the ones we fear, the ones that need to be heard. Conversations After Dark with Mario, where the silence ends and truth begins. Every Wednesday night at 10 p.m., Mario takes you on a journey through the real, raw, and rarely spoken truths that shape our lives. From personal battles to family struggles, community wounds to silent traumas. No topic is too taboo, no story too deep. It's not just talk, it's healing. This is a space where shame is shattered, silence is broken, and truth finally speaks. Conversations After Dark with Mario, every Wednesday at 10 p.m. only on Flashpoint Radio. www.flashpointmedia.ky. Stay up, speak up, heal forward.
Conversation with Mario after dark. I mean, sure. For those who did not join us on, for those who did join us on Wednesday night at 10 p.m., that was a conversation after dark. Guys, trust me. Tune in every Wednesday at 10 o'clock in the night, p.m., you know. Yes, Central. Is it Eastern Standard Time? Yeah. I'm hopeful that I'm right on that. But 10 o'clock, 10 p.m., we'll get it right the next time. But however, guys, it was a pleasure being here with you this morning. On behalf of Corley Curran and Lady Elise this morning, Aza G, and all the Flash Farms, VIPs, I want to say it has been a great morning. And of course, we touched a little bit on our history. We celebrated our independence in Jamaica. And of course, different islands or different parts of the globe celebrates their independence or special celebrations at some point. It is Jamaica's time. Of course, Grand Cayman celebrates quite a few things, and of course, we all make mention of these celebrations. And of course, please stay with Flashpoint, that when this celebration comes up, you hear them first right here. Of course, continue to stick and stay with Flashpoint. Of course, if you did not like, share, and subscribe, please go ahead and do it right now. And of course, while you're at it, hit the notification bell that every time one of these programs comes up, you will get it first. flashpointmedia.ky, and of course our web radio continues all day, 24 hours. That's www.flashpointmedia.ky. Continue to enjoy Flashpoint. Guys, it has been a minute. And of course, I am Michael G, right here at Flashpoint. Our Sabbath experience comes up later on. Pastor Marquino Ferran on the open portal at 6:30 p.m. this evening right here on Flashpoint. And the Sabbath experience continue all through Friday evening into Saturday morning into Saturday evening at sunset, and you'll have a great time with Flashpoint. Continue to stick and stay. Have yourself a great day, and of course, happy independence. It has gone already, but it now is here. It's after the fact. Happy independence to all Jamaicans everywhere.
Eternal Father, bless our land. Guard us with thy mighty hand. Keep us free from evil power. Be your light through countless storms. To our leader, great defender, grant wisdom from above. Justice, truth be ours forever. Jamaica, land we love. Jamaica, 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 land we love. Teach us to respect for both. Stir response to duty's call. Strengthen us the weak to carry. Give us vision, lest we perish. Knowledge send us, Heavenly Father, grant wisdom from above. Justice, truth be